Now, President Trump's trade war continues to hurt farmers all across the Midwest, and they are getting very angry about it. Now, recently, President Trump tweeted out that he would be adding an additional 10% of tariffs to be placed on Chinese goods on top of the 25% that are already replaced or already in place. So now that's bad. Already, it's been reported that China has been looking to other markets, such as Brazil, in order to buy their agricultural goods. So that's really, really bad for American farmers because for a long time, especially when it comes to soybeans, you had China buying a lot of American soybeans. So that has led, of course, to a lot of anger. Let's go here to a quote from Roger Johnson, president of the National Farmers Union. That's the nation's second largest general farm organization. Now, he talked to Bloomberg, and he said that Trump's latest tariffs would hurt American farmers even more. He said this, quote, "Trade policy is not a game. It has real and serious consequences for rural America." Immediately after President Trump tweeted his tariff threats, already low commodity prices slipped yet again. The long-term implications for our country's reputation as a reliable trading partner are likely to even be more damaging. So he's talking about long-term. I mean, who's going to trust to trade with America if we continuously go back and start ridiculous trade wars? So that's what Trump's doing. And, of course, he talked about commodity prices. He talked about markets. And, boy, are the markets going insane. Now, Bloomberg had reported that U.S. soybean futures were on track for their worst week in 3 months, and that hogs were set for their biggest slump in a year. Now, those are actually two of the biggest U.S. agricultural exports to China. Now, Johnson said, quote, "It may take President Trump just a few minutes to write 280 characters, but family farmers and ranchers could be dealing with the fallout for decades to come." But hey, I thought trade wars were fun and easy to win. That's, again, what Donald Trump had said about going into a trade war with China. No, do you know how much fun we've had with this trade war? How easy they are? Exports of American soybeans to China fell from $14.2 billion worth in 2016 to only $3.1 billion worth in 2018. You know how much loss that is? That is 78%. Who's winning this trade war? Who's winning? Who's winning? Because for me, from my perspective, it looks like China's kicking our ass. Now, if you ask Donald Trump, he says, oh, no, it's China that's paying massive tariffs. In fact, he talked about earlier, I think it was a couple of months ago, after the first round of bailouts to these farmers, that, oh, no, it's China that paid the $16 billion. That's where we got the money to pay the farmers. No, China does not pay these tariffs. He has no idea what he's talking about. You know who pays the cost of the tariffs? It's U.S. importers. That's who pays the cost. And so this is basically a tax on American goods. That's what this ends up being. And by the way, China, as I showed you, they've bought billions of dollars worth in agricultural products from America. They've gone somewhere else. So we lose out. This is double stupid. And so now farmers, of course, are fed up by this, right? Now farmers like Bill Gordon. Now, he's a farmer in Minnesota, and he said this, quote, "It's crazy. You sit there and try to raise a crop and do everything you can. You fight Mother Nature like we did last year and again this year, because, of course, flooding that we've had might be related to climate change. And then you come to find out, oh, hey, by the way, the government got in the way, and now you don't have a market. They took the market away. Soybean farmers have sunk their own money, blood, sweat, and tears for the last 40 years into building the Chinese market up and getting trade partners and building this two-way relationship. Then it gets taken away overnight. You start to lose your patience with anybody in government in general. When the market drops 30 cents on a tweet, it's frustrating." This is what President Trump has been doing with this ridiculous trade war. And, by the way, he's using taxpayer money to prop up the soybean industry. Farmers don't want that. Yes, a lot of them decided to take the money because they were desperate. They needed the money. But they're like, we don't want a government handout. We don't want a government check. We want our markets back. We want to go back to selling our product to, at this point, the Chinese or whoever would buy it. But with this ridiculous trade war, all they're stuck with is handouts. Now, you've got more here. Now, this was a while ago, right, during the first round or after the first round of bailouts. But here you had Iowa farmer Larry Engler, who told CNN that Trump's trade war combined with the flooding meant that he and his family had lost a lot of money. When asked if he had voted for Trump in 2016, he said, "I did, but I'll never vote for him again." There's more. Another Iowa farmer, Robert Ewalt, told CNN that he regrets voting for Trump because of the trade war. And so when they asked him, they said, you going to vote for him again? No. That was his answer. And there's a lot more stories. And surprisingly, there are still farmers that are sticking by Donald Trump. And for some reason, I don't quite understand why. Oh, no, he's doing the right thing, or he's trying to do the right thing, and he's just doing it in the wrong way. Yeah, that's it. No, you bet on somebody who doesn't actually care about you. He doesn't care about farmers. He doesn't care about you. The only thing he cares about is making more money for himself and about winning. It doesn't matter what he wins, as long as he wins something. But believe me, this is a losing strategy. He's been a complete disaster for the middle of this country. And this is not something, by the way, that you can fix by putting in another president or a Democrat or another Republican. No, what's happened is that he has done long-lasting damage to the Midwest and to the country at large, not just on trade, but actually in a lot of different ways. And what's going to happen is that whoever gets into office next, whether it be an establishment Republican or a Democrat, you're going to end up having to clean up this mess for the next few decades. That's the disaster that is putting an idiot like Donald Trump in charge. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.